she kind of roped me into it. Not roped. I mean, I was a willing victim. We were, my husband and I. It was interesting. It's something that will be fun to look back on after all the drama of it sort of settles. But we came out okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was fun.
All right. Very good. Well, let's get you back to one more reading from the parent trip and introduce this. Tell us what we're going to hear.
Let's see. Something I think most parents can relate to. This section is called "The 5-Second Rule and Other Disgusting Practices You Will Embrace." If you haven't had your baby yet, or he is still but a wee blob, I can see how you might insist that your hygiene standards are far too high to permit such behaviors. You may truly believe that pre-chewing another person's food is a vile and reprehensible act in which you will never partake. You might feel completely confident there's nothing in the world that can impel you to insert a plastic ball syringe deep into another human being's nasal cavity for the express purpose of sucking out his or her boogers. And I'm positive there's at least one mom-to-be out there who does not accept that she might one day taste or temperature test her own breast milk by, you guessed it, taking a nice hearty swig. Here's a little newsflash. You will do many, if not all of these things at least once, but probably on a regular basis. If not, you will watch your partner do them. Because sometimes they simply have to be done, even if one parent has to turn a blind eye and pretend it didn't happen. Fortunately, Joe and I are of like mind when it comes to the 5-second rule. A stray Cheerio hurtles itself from the high chair tray. 5-second rule, we shout, diving for the reckless ring and waving it around for good measure before returning it to the tray. Her bottle slides out of her mouth and onto the carpet. 5-second rule, we chirp, giving the nipple a cursory swipe with the sleeve and inserting it back into Sophie's mouth. Her pacifier pops out of her mouth and lands under the chair of the people dining at the next table. 5-second rule, we whisper, trying nonchalantly to retrieve the wayward sucker with our feet. When it comes up covered in carpet fuzz and food particles, Joe does what any guy's guy would do in such a situation. He dunks it in his beer. Alcohol's a sterilizer, he informs me, popping it into his own mouth to suck out the remaining malt before giving it back to Sophie. All of that being said, I'd be remiss if I didn't add that some interesting studies have looked at the lack of wisdom of this practice. Turns out germs are tenacious, and it takes approximately 1/100th of a nanosecond or something like that for a malicious microbe to adhere to a fallen object. The more moisture-logged or porous, the slicker the surface it lands on, the more bacteria-laden it will become. In other words, drop a syrup-soaked square of French toast onto a cool, smooth tile in 5 seconds might as well be 5 years. On the other hand, exposure to germs helps bolster fledgling immune systems. And if you think about it, it's not like you live in a hermetically sealed bubble. You put your diaper bag on the ground at restaurants, on the floor of filthy subway cars, in the parking lot next to your minivan, then you come home and jauntily set it on the kitchen table, the one you eat at a dozen or more times a week. Your cat covers his own poop with his paws, the very ones he uses to prance across your pillow each night, the same pillow you bury your face in moments later. You think that sponge that's been festering in your kitchen sink for the past year, the one you wash your dishes with before pronouncing them clean, is particularly sterile? If someone offered you 20 bucks, would you lick your refrigerator handle or front doorknob? And let's not even talk about how long it's been since you replaced your toothbrush. No matter how neat freakish you'd like to think you are, most of our homes aren't going to win any sanitation awards. And we've made it this far.
That's great. Now, you come across in this book as a mom who sort of lets things slide off her back. Is there anything that really bugs you as a...
Everything bugs me. No, I am a total neat freak. Nothing slides off my back.
Okay.
Really, the message that I want to give women is that, yes, this is very hard. Yes, doing it perfectly is impossible.
Right.
I mean, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Before you have kids, if you're me, you judge everyone. You see a kid with a pacifier and you say, my kid will never have a pacifier.
Right.
Or the kid's having a tantrum in the store and you're thinking, why is that mother not dealing with that this way? And then you get there and you say, I will never, ever, ever judge another woman. And nothing feels better than another mom coming up to you and saying, honey, I have been there. It's the worst and it's not you. And you know, we're all in the same boat as parents.
We just have about 30 seconds left, and I just want you to people who are watching who might want to get involved in writing. You talked about going to the Writers' Conference. What's some last words of wisdom for someone who's made a career out of her writing? People who would like to get started and get involved as writers.
It has never been easier. I mean, write prolifically. You can write for free websites that cull content to put in news, e-zines and newsletters. There's a site, I think it's called e-zinenewsletter.com or something like that, where you can just start posting things. You can post on your MySpace or your Facebook and get a following that way. You can have a blog anywhere. Just write.
Just right. Never
Right.
been easier.
Never
you,
been
Jenna
easier.
McCarthy. That's been so great to have you.
It was really fun. Thanks.
The Creative Community is produced by Santa Barbara City College in association with the Santa Barbara Channels. I'm David Starkey, and we'll see you next time.